We're also going to launch our publication today, and this is a City of Sanctuary handbook, a practical handbook with inspirational stories from around the country about people engaged in City of Sanctuary activity. So this will be launched today, and it's a really good tool for all those who want to work in their own areas towards the City of Sanctuary status.
I'm coming from Coventry, and I'm part of the committee of City of Sanctuary in Coventry. We've been having many meetings trying to make Coventry a City of Sanctuary, and there are various ideas how we can make Coventry a City of Sanctuary, trying to engage the churches, the civic society to be more welcoming to refugees and asylum seekers so that they feel part of the community. We encourage organizations to think of ways where they can be more welcoming to refugees and asylum seekers, or to anyone who comes into the city. We are we've been a year running, and we've been supported by the Lord Mayor, Andy Matchett. He's been very receptive to the idea, and I think it's very important that Coventry do become a City of Sanctuary, and not only Coventry, of course, the whole country, if that is the goal ultimately.
Just chatting a few minutes ago, and I think one of the things we realised early on is the value of having one or two key people who doggedly and faithfully, and at the risk of their own physical and mental health, I think, went around chasing organisation after organisation after organisation to get a considerable amount of initial resolutions of support signed. That might sound a bit superficial, but it was been immensely valuable. And to be honest, one person probably is responsible for at least 50 of our 108 resolution support, probably more than that. A wonderful lady, Sister Mary Horn, a Catholic lay sister, went around everybody and everybody, knocked on doors, badgered, cajoled, went back and back to the Council of Mosque in particular, and got key representative bodies across the city. And that has really stood us in very good stead in terms of gaining credibility and opening doors subsequently. We've had the work we've done so far, the launch and a very successful storytelling event, have opened a number of doors, as Chris was just saying, certainly to talk to councillors and key decision makers. I had a phone call Thursday before last from the council saying we need from you for tomorrow for our new arrival strategy key measurable outcomes that you as a campaign are asking for. And we've got meetings scheduled to produce our manifesto. We have not got a manifesto yet. We've got the City Council on board. They've signed up the resolution of support, and we all thought, great, we're there. But of course, what are we asking for? We need. We haven't been slacking. It's just the pressure of many other commitments means you don't necessarily you can't keep momentum going as you are. So we had a very hasty and very sort of as broad as we could possibly consultation exercise over a period of about 12 hours, and got a number of key elements which we say will be in our manifesto in it. In terms of positives, one of the things which is I think the two of the key things which have been achieved so far. One is just, we all know it, but it's giving people a voice. The storytelling event, the Stories of Sanctuary event we ran, was an immensely powerful event where people were able to stand up for the first time. Obviously there are a number of people, many people who wouldn't be able to do that, but fortunately we did manage to identify a few key people, and as they spoke, other people gained confidence. Some weren't able to didn't feel confident to speak there at the event itself. They were recorded and we play them on a DVD at the event itself. But for people to have, it's immensely powerful, and there's nothing as powerful really as hearing firsthand the story of somebody telling their experiences. Something we learned from that was really you have to give people enough time. You might have organised a very tight programme with we wanted to make it sort of multi-textured, so there was music, there was food, there was dance, but we didn't probably give enough time, and that's to our great shame, because it is it's certainly it's not helpful to ask people to tell the most appalling and difficult things in a context where they felt that they're made to rush. Another thing I think we learned from our events is we organised two very successful events. What we didn't do really was think in advance of getting adequate media coverage beforehand, and to bully and cajole the press to be there, or indeed, but first of all, even to organise a photographer. You wouldn't believe, but we did forget to organise a photographer for the launch. We had Craig, fortunately, with his camera. But it's in the rush, you know, the enthusiasm and energy, you can miss some very basic things. I think I've largely said, I mean, the other key thing I was saying is that I think the movement, the campaign has been a great opportunity to get local refugee community organisations and organisations working with asylum seekers and refugees to actually build relationships. Quite a lot has been going on in pockets across the city, but there hasn't been many opportunities. Refugee Week this year is a great one, but there haven't been many opportunities for people really to come together and meet together and develop a common voice and work in a sort of more coordinated fashion. Chris wanted to just say something about the benefit from working with police.
Well, I just one of the great things about the whole programme is that opening doors, and the two things that happened recently. One is well, yesterday morning I was invited into a large secondary school to talk to 150 young people, because one of the kids in their year group was just snatched in one of these horrible dawn raids, and suddenly, you know, a kid that they've been in school with for 4 years disappears, and there wasn't any mechanism to help those children deal with the fact that some they know so well just disappeared. But the City of Sanctuary gave us a lever in to talk to the school and to go in and did a big assembly. Then we took the form group that he was with and the football team that he'd been with, and we spent another hour with them, and they were crying, and it was just these 15-year-old lads and girls we just gave them an opportunity to share their experience. And the school, as a result of it, the school have offered to pay the tuition for to be in a school in Nairobi so he can continue to do his IGCSEs, international GCSEs. So that's the sort of very productive thing that comes out. Even though we lost that family, yeah, we can still support them far away. But the other thing is just these groups. Now the police are involved in these dorm raids in Bradford, and we can say as a City of Sanctuary that they've got to think about how they operate in those situations, because it's unaccountable and it's horrific, and you know, often impacts on families. And we, as a body, we can sort of sit in on those committees and say, look, yeah, you've got policies on how you would deal with families in normal situations. Why don't they apply to how you operate in terms of these dorm raids? And we're slowly getting inroads and maybe pushing a barrier between the local police's reaction, who often have support staff for these dorm raids, and a gap between them and how the Home Office is operating. So it's again opening doors and being able to put pressure in certain places, and being able to then support people affected by the horrific policies of our government.
We did lots of little corollaries, or not big corollaries like that, just little benefits which aren't perhaps in your vision when you first set off. I mean, the police have also contacted us recently, so we've got a hate crime scrutiny panel or whatever. We want some representatives from asylum seekers and refugees to be part of that. Who can you recommend? So they wouldn't have had necessarily an approach beforehand for that, so we've immediately been able to recommend 2 or 3 people for that.